Kevin Costner, the magnetic star who became synonymous with Yellowstone, now finds himself navigating one of the most turbulent chapters of his life. After years of career highs, he departed the hit series while questions swirled around behind-the-scenes tensions and legal disputes. At the same time, his ambitious passion project Horizon has reportedly placed enormous pressure on his finances, while his highly publicized divorce has added another painful layer to his struggles. The man audiences know from The Bodyguard and Bull Durham is suddenly confronting a period filled with uncertainty, personal battles, and professional setbacks. But to understand how Costner reached this crossroads, we have to rewind to the very beginning, long before Hollywood fame and blockbuster success. Kevin Costner was born in Linwood, California, though much of his childhood was spent in Compton. He wasn't the kind of kid who lived with his nose buried in books. Instead, he was drawn to football and explored his artistic instincts through piano, poetry, and singing in his church choir. Yet one thing captured his imagination more than anything else: the sweeping Western movies he watched growing up, including How the West Was Won. Little did he know that the genre he admired as a boy would eventually become one of the defining elements of his entire career. Costner's childhood was also marked by constant change. Because of his father's career, the family moved frequently, making it difficult for him to build deep, lasting friendships. Each move meant starting over, meeting new people, and trying to find his place all over again. That instability gradually affected his confidence, but instead of giving up, he continued pushing forward. He attended several different high schools before finally graduating in 1973. During those years, he remained active in sports, particularly baseball, while also experimenting with acting and dancing. Those early interests may have seemed like simple hobbies at the time, but they were quietly revealing talents that would eventually transform his future. Still, Costner didn't immediately know that acting would become his destiny. It wasn't until his final year at California State University, Fullerton, where he was studying business, that something inside him suddenly shifted. He realized that the conventional career path he had been following wasn't where his heart truly belonged. Acting had captured his imagination, and that realization would ultimately send him toward the world of Hollywood, where his life was about to change forever. Then, in 1978, an extraordinary encounter gave that dream an unexpected push. While traveling on a flight, Costner found himself sitting near legendary actor Richard Burton. At that point, Costner was still uncertain about what direction his life should take. But instead of allowing the opportunity to pass, he gathered enough courage to ask the famous actor for advice. What happened next left a lasting impression. Rather than discouraging him, Burton urged the young Costner to take acting seriously and pursue it with everything he had. That brief conversation with a Hollywood legend became a powerful turning point. Suddenly, the dream that had once seemed distant felt possible. Costner returned with a new sense of purpose and began throwing himself into acting training while working whatever jobs he could find to survive. He worked on fishing boats, guided tours around Hollywood homes, and took on countless odd jobs just to keep moving forward and support his family. The road was anything but glamorous, but Costner refused to let the struggle defeat him. Eventually, his persistence began to pay off. In 1981, he made his film debut in Sizzle Beach, USA. It wasn't the kind of role that instantly made him famous, but it gave him something far more valuable: a first step into the industry he had spent years fighting to enter. More opportunities followed, including smaller parts in films such as Night Shift in 1982 and Testament in 1983. None of these appearances turned him into an overnight sensation, but each role gave him more experience, greater exposure, and another chance to prove himself. Then came the moment that changed everything. In 1985, Costner appeared in Lawrence Kasdan's Western Sylvia Doe, and suddenly Hollywood began paying attention. His performance showcased the charisma, confidence, and screen presence that would soon become his trademark. The success of Sylvia Doe opened the floodgates, leading to a series of major opportunities that transformed him from a struggling newcomer into one of the industry's most promising leading men. In 1987, he appeared in The Untouchables, portraying the legendary lawman Elliot Ness as he pursued Al Capone, while also starring in the political thriller No Way Out. These films established Costner as a genuine Hollywood star, proving that he had the rare ability to carry major productions through both powerful performances and undeniable charm. But his rise was only beginning. His career climbed even higher with unforgettable performances in Bull Durham in 1988, a romantic comedy set against the world of minor league baseball, followed by Field of Dreams in 1989, the emotional fantasy about a farmer who builds a baseball diamond in his cornfield. These movies didn't simply strengthen his reputation. They revealed a performer capable of balancing romance, emotion, humor, and heartfelt storytelling in a way that connected deeply with audiences. But these films did more than showcase Costner's range. They transformed him into a reliable box office powerhouse, a star whose name alone could attract audiences. Then, in 1990, Costner stepped behind the camera and entered a completely new chapter by launching his own production company, TIG Productions. Under that banner, he took on one of the biggest creative challenges of his career, producing and directing the ambitious Western epic Dances with Wolves. The film followed a Civil War soldier whose life changes dramatically after he forms a connection with a Native American tribe. Against enormous expectations, the movie became a stunning critical and commercial triumph, eventually winning 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director for Costner himself. Throughout the 1990s and into the early 2000s, Costner continued proving that he wasn't limited to a single type of role. He moved between different genres, finding commercial success with projects such as 13 Days while earning critical recognition for films like Open Range. But his ambitions extended far beyond the movie screen. Costner also made a strong impression on television, receiving widespread praise for his performance in the miniseries Hatfields and McCoys in 2012. Later, he reached a new generation of viewers through his starring role as John Dutton in the hit drama series Yellowstone. Despite the inevitable highs and lows that come with such a long career, Costner remained one of Hollywood's most recognizable names, continuing to draw attention with his distinctive presence, talent, and unmistakable charm. Yet acting was only one part of his creative life. Away from the cameras, Costner had another passion that many fans might not have expected: music. He became the frontman of a country rock group known as Kevin Costner Modern West, and beginning in 2007, the band started taking its music to audiences around the world. Their tours brought them to international destinations including Istanbul and Rome, while NASCAR fans may also remember seeing the group perform at major racing venues in Daytona and Charlotte in 2008. That same year, the band released its debut album, Untold Truths, which earned attention on the Billboard charts. They followed it with songs such as Superman 14 and Long Hot Night, along with music videos that helped expand the band's growing audience. In 2009, Costner and Modern West returned to the road, touring alongside the band The Alternate Routes. But during one performance, the night suddenly turned into a terrifying disaster. In August of that year, the group was preparing to take the stage at the Big Valley Jamboree in Alberta, Canada, when a powerful thunderstorm struck the festival grounds. The extreme weather caused the stage structure to collapse. Thankfully, Costner and his bandmates managed to escape without serious injuries, but the tragedy claimed one life and left numerous others hurt. In the aftermath, Costner and his fellow musicians made an effort to help those affected by the disaster. They participated in a fundraising auction that generated substantial support for victims and their families. A private dinner with the actor reportedly sold for an impressive $41,000, while 2 guitars, including one personally signed by Costner, each brought in around $10,000. The gesture showed that the band wasn't simply interested in performing, they were also willing to use their platform when people needed help most. Costner and Modern West continued their musical journey after the tragedy. In February 2010, they released their second album, Turn It On, with a particular focus on European listeners, followed by another international tour. Their charitable work also continued. In 2012, the band performed in Halifax, Nova Scotia, at an event benefiting the IWK Health Centre Foundation, with Costner also contributing an autographed guitar to support the cause. But perhaps the most fascinating connection between Costner's music and acting careers came later with the album Tales from Yellowstone. This unusual project featured songs written from the perspective of John Dutton, the character Costner portrayed in the hugely popular series Yellowstone. Several of the tracks were even incorporated into the show's third season, creating an unusual crossover between his two creative worlds and allowing fans to experience the character through music as well as television. Interestingly, Costner's connection to baseball also runs far deeper than many people realize. The sport has appeared repeatedly throughout his filmography, with movies such as Bull Durham, Field of Dreams, For Love of the Game, Chasing Dreams, and The Upside of Anger all featuring baseball in significant ways. In some stories, he played professional athletes, while in others, he portrayed former players or characters whose lives were deeply connected to the game. It was clear that his love for baseball wasn't limited to Hollywood scripts, it was a genuine passion that followed him throughout his life. Costner owns a home in Austin, Texas, and has frequently been spotted around University of Texas Longhorns baseball practices and games. His connection to the sport dates back to his college years at Cal State Fullerton, where he was actually cut from the baseball team by legendary coach Orgy Garrido. But being rejected from the roster didn't end his relationship with the game. Instead, Costner remained a devoted supporter of the Titans baseball program, regularly showing up to cheer them on, including during their appearances at the College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska. His passion even reached the level of ownership when he became part owner of the Lake County Fielders, an independent baseball team based in Zion, Illinois. The team's branding was an obvious nod to his legendary movie Field of Dreams, featuring imagery of a player standing in a cornfield reminiscent of the iconic film. Then, in 2021, Costner took part in one of baseball's most nostalgic events when he helped lead the New York Yankees and Chicago White Sox onto the field for the MLB at Field of Dreams game in Dyersville, Iowa. Standing at the center of the moment, he delivered a short speech that perfectly captured the emotional connection between his movie and the sport he had loved for decades. But Costner wasn't finished exploring new ventures. Alongside acting, music, and baseball, he also demonstrated a sharp business instinct. In 1995, he purchased a company developing specialized technology designed to separate oil from water. At the time, the equipment wasn't attracting much attention or demand. That would soon change dramatically when the devastating The Deepwater Horizon disaster in 2010 unexpectedly transformed one of Kevin Costner's business investments into a major environmental opportunity. After the catastrophic oil spill, BP reportedly tested several machines developed by Ocean Therapy Solutions, a company in which Costner had an ownership interest. The technology was designed to separate oil from water, and after seeing its potential, BP reportedly moved forward with leasing dozens of the machines for use during the massive cleanup operation. What began as a business venture suddenly placed Costner at the center of an environmental crisis, giving him a chance to contribute to one of the most urgent cleanup efforts in American history. But the success surrounding Ocean Therapy Solutions would soon be followed by a legal battle that threatened to overshadow the achievement. The dispute involved former investors Stephen Baldwin and Spiridon Karajits, who accused Costner and other representatives of the company of misleading them about BP's interest in the technology. According to their allegations, Costner had allegedly participated in private negotiations with BP while the investors were being led to believe that the oil giant was still evaluating the machines and had not yet made a firm commitment. The former investors claimed that a major payment connected to the deal was kept from them, and that another investor used part of that money to purchase their shares, potentially preventing them from benefiting from what they believed could have been a massive financial windfall. The plaintiffs reportedly estimated their potential losses at around $164 million. The case eventually reached federal court in Louisiana, where Costner and his fellow defendants strongly denied the accusations. They argued that the investors understood the negotiations and had voluntarily transferred their interests. After a short deliberation, the jury ultimately sided with Costner and the other defendants, rejecting the claims of fraud and misrepresentation. The court also ordered the plaintiffs to cover the defendants' legal expenses, bringing a dramatic end to the courtroom battle. Costner's ambitions, however, were never limited to Hollywood or business deals. In 2004, he introduced Tatanka, a massive attraction in South Dakota created to educate visitors about America's western expansion and the cultural history surrounding the plains. The project featured an expansive interactive visitor center with exhibits, retail areas, dining spaces, offices, and a theater. One of its most remarkable features was a breathtaking bronze sculpture depicting a dramatic buffalo jump. Created by artist Peggy Detmer and commissioned by Costner, the enormous installation featured 14 bronze bison being pursued by 3 Lakota riders on horseback. Several of the massive animals appeared frozen in midair as they plunged toward the edge of a cliff. Weighing thousands of pounds each, the sculptures created a powerful visual representation of the relationship between Native American culture, the buffalo, and the history of the American frontier. Costner also explored the hospitality business when he opened the Midnight Star Casino and Restaurant in Deadwood, South Dakota, in 1991. He brought in Francis and Carla Canova to help operate the establishment and reportedly gave each of them a small ownership stake along with salaries and bonuses. But years later, their business relationship collapsed. In 2004, Costner ended their employment and attempted to negotiate a separation. When the Canovas rejected his proposal, the partnership was dissolved, and an independent valuation placed the business at roughly $3.1 million. The former partners disagreed with that assessment, claiming their interests were worth considerably more. They took Costner to court, demanding either a buyout at their preferred valuation or the sale of the entire business. Although Costner initially prevailed in lower court proceedings, the dispute eventually reached the South Dakota Supreme Court, where the actor suffered a legal defeat. Despite the setback, he continued moving forward. The Midnight Star eventually closed in 2017 and was later sold. Costner's entrepreneurial curiosity continued into the digital world. In 2020, he co-founded Here Here with Woody Sears, an audio travel platform designed for people exploring the United States by road. The service offers travelers stories about the history, culture, people, and locations they encounter along their journeys, with Costner himself contributing narration and bringing his familiar storytelling style to the experience. His fascination with history also led him to support the National World War I Museum in Kansas City, where he served on an honorary board. He even recorded radio spots promoting the museum, demonstrating that his interests extended well beyond entertainment. Sports and motorsports became another major part of Costner's public life. In 2007, he served as ceremonial Grand Marshal for a NASCAR Cup Series race, and the following year he worked with NASCAR Media Group and CMT Films on a documentary exploring the world of racing. He narrated the project and later continued his association with NASCAR as a spokesperson for NASCAR Day. His country rock band also performed at Charlotte Motor Speedway, further blending his love of music with his passion for sports. By 2015, Costner had even stepped into the literary world, co-authoring The Explorers Guild, A Passage to Shambhala, an adventure story combining elements of a novel and graphic storytelling. His creative interests eventually expanded into nonfiction as well, when he contributed his thoughts and experiences to Tim Ferriss's Tools of Titans. After decades of acting, producing, directing, music, business, and television success, Costner had accumulated an enormous fortune. Various estimates placed his wealth somewhere between $250 million and $400 million, with luxury properties and an expansive estate among his valuable assets. But his financial picture became increasingly complicated during his divorce from Christine Baumgartner. Court proceedings brought attention to his substantial real estate holdings, including a large California beachfront property, a private baseball field, and homes in Ventura and Los Angeles. His legal and financial situation became a major topic of public discussion, especially as questions arose over his Yellowstone earnings and future support obligations. Then came the decision that shocked many fans: Costner's departure from Yellowstone. The modern Western drama, created by Taylor Sheridan and John Linson, premiered in 2018 and quickly became one of television's biggest successes. The series follows the powerful Dutton family as they fight to protect their enormous Montana ranch from developers, neighboring interests, and conflicts involving the nearby national park and reservation. But behind the scenes, tensions surrounding the show's future and Costner's involvement created uncertainty. As the series moved toward its final chapters, fans were left wondering what had really happened and whether Costner's exit marked the end of his era as John Dutton. With the Dutton universe continuing to expand through new projects and spin-offs, one question remains. After everything Costner has endured, is his biggest career chapter already behind him, or is Hollywood about to witness his greatest comeback yet? If you enjoyed Kevin Costner's incredible journey, don't leave yet. Like this video, subscribe for more celebrity stories, and comment below. Is his best chapter still ahead?